My boys say I need an intro, so get ready. We're good. All right, I'm going to try and make this quick because my wife's laughing at me for even doing a tutorial in the other room. But she doesn't know. She doesn't know what it's like to be a musician and get frustrated with software. The first one is just rescanning or refreshing Komplete Kontrol. Sometimes if you buy something new or it's not showing, it's as simple as just a rescan, and I'll show you how to do that. The second part, we're going to go into the NBPL folder and the UPIDs, and that is where I think you'll find the most success. That's where the magic happens. The third part, we're going to install 3 different examples. I'll do 3 different types because each one seems to be as unique as the other, and while this might not get everything solved, it should solve like 95%. And when you get an update and you go from 5% of it working to 95, it feels like 1,000. So let's go. All right, so the first thing I'd recommend you do is a Komplete Kontrol rescan. I remember after I downloaded everything, I was going through here. I was like, I have way more libraries than this. Why is it not showing? Sometimes you just need to rescan way better than uninstalling and then reinstalling. So to do that on a Mac, you're going to hit your Option key, which makes that, see that library folder? Makes the library folder appear. And after we go to library, we're going to go over to application support and then down to, where's native instruments. We're getting Komplete Kontrol. And see this file right here? This is your complete.db3. You don't have to worry about any others. Just take this file, drag it to the trash. I'm not going to do it because I just did it. And then when you restart this, you'll slowly see all your different synths and libraries repopulate. So the first thing to try, if you're not seeing a library or it's not playing, instead of uninstalling, reinstalling, or doing anything else, find this complete.db3, drag it to the trash, reopen Komplete Kontrol, and everything will should hopefully pop up in there. Now, if it doesn't work, we'll try the second part of this. All right, sadly, here comes the tedious part and the reason why there is a cacophony of craziness on my desktop. When you download your libraries out of native access, you are given a previews folder. This is where you're going to get all your previews for Komplete Kontrol. Sometimes it can go into a library, or a little folder rather, that the other libraries can't find. The folder that is downloaded from previews, after you download it, you're going to want to search. I know that mine is on my external. It created its own folder in users, shared, NBPL. Now your NBPL in your samples is basically a bunch of bins. And within these bins are, let's minimize this, all the different previews associated to the synths. To get this list, I have this Google search up. These are considered the UPIDs. So you're going to want to punch into Google product UPIDs native instruments. Now the first thing that pops up as soon as you click on it, it'll download, boom, it pops right up. The reason that's so important is because all your libraries that are not giving you previews, they're somewhere inside these little bins, and you're going to have to manually find them, drag them, and drop them. It is tedious, but it is worth it because it works. So we're going to do that in the next part together. When I installed my libraries, just to give you an example, same company, right? These presets work. Those are my previews, okay? But when you go to, let's see, I think we're going to do the mini V here. You'll notice when I go to the mini V, nothing plays. The reason for that is these UPID preview folders are not being seen over here with the actual folder. So I know that all my Arturia stuff is on an external. So I find my folder. I go over to the Mini V3. We're going to do a few examples because this is where the folders sometimes get tricky. Sometimes they say third party. Sometimes they say instruments. Sometimes they say different things. For this particular one, it's third party native instruments presets. Now you're going to want to have your Mini V up to make sure your presets match. One OC, one OC. Okay, so we know that this preset is the same as this library. And the reason why I say that's important is because right up here, you'll notice there's a Mini V3 and a Mini V2. Two scans. This one is the F3F folder, which I typed here to get this folder. And there's one right below it that says B. I typed that one here to get this folder. Now your previews are inside these folders. Here's the thing that years later I learned in a thread. As you'll notice, nothing's showing in these folders, and it's extremely frustrating. What you have to do if you are a Mac user, you hit Shift, Command, and period, and boom, all these gray folders appear. And these gray folders are the preview files that need to go into this folder of the actual presets. The reason why I said keep this out, double check that the oscillator one here is matching what it is here in Komplete Kontrol. Oscillator 1, like I said, this one up here, when you hit previews, the first synth is third straight, okay, or third straight. I guess they're getting fancy. Whereas this one right here, you touch it, you hit previews, it says one oscillator. You're going to take this preview file. If you're putting it just so you don't have to download it again, I recommend you hold Option and drag it over. It will take up more room on your computer, but it's duplicating it so that if you have to rescan your stuff, you don't have to re-download the samples again. This way, you're just taking the preview file over to this one, dragging it in. Now all the previews are inside your synth folder. Now if we come over here to the Mini V, yes! This is something I've noticed in some of the newer updates, or maybe it's just happened as I've moved things to an external, but there's a little icon here in Komplete Kontrol. Now I'm using the Standalone. I'm not opening it up in my DAW. I have the Standalone here. When you click, here, let me first show you. If you go to All Instruments, these are the instruments that are showing when this little person is not highlighted. Now, if I go back to Instruments and I highlight this person, I'll go to Instruments now. I have a new catalog. It's extremely frustrating because for the longest time I couldn't find it and I didn't know where it was. But what I've seen to find is that everything that's installed onto my actual computer is found here, while this person is not highlighted. Now, when I do highlight them, this is everything on my external. The only other sad thing is sometimes things that are installed on my desktop still don't show. And so what I found I have to do is when you go up at this little arrow here and we go down to Edit Preferences, and we'll go more in depth here in a sec, but you can install them to your library as if they're not factory or what I find to be my desktop. You can install even your factory presets as a user one. All you have to do is click Add and then find them, and I'll show you how to do that. But if you're getting frustrated or you've somehow used it in the past, it's not there, there's a chance that this little highlighted individual right here is the reason why your synths aren't showing. All right, now we're going to make it a little more difficult, man. This is a library that has folders within folders, and it's not as simple as the last one where you just kind of drag one preview into your main, you have to drag several preview files. As we go into our instruments, this is the frustrating thing I found. Damage is a library within native instruments. These all seem to be in this menu when this guy's not highlighted. So it should be there. It's not. But not a big deal. We just highlight it, and we'll find it in here. You'll notice it's not in here yet because we haven't associated the UPID preview folder to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Edit Preferences. Brings up our Preferences menu, over to Library. We go over to User, and just like we would, we'd click Add. I already did that, and it's right here. I can't hit Rescan yet because the preview files aren't in that library. So that's where we're going to have to come over, do that same trick with that Shift Command period, makes all the preview files disappear. We obviously don't want that. We want them to appear. As we go over here, do this with you guys too, just so you can see. Search, find, damage pops up right there, which means we're looking for this folder, OA902. I put it up here, OA902. Once we hit enter, we get instruments, but we get rhythmic suites, we get percussive kits, we get loop menus, we get single loops. All these different things have preview files within them. So what you're going to want to do is in another Smart Finder, find wherever you installed damage. This is my external. These are my preview files. You go to instruments in this one. In the last one, it was third party. In this one, it's actually instruments. We go over to rhythmic suites, loop menus, previews. Now we're going to want to make sure that LPS, Epic, LPS, all these things are matching the folder we're going to drag it into, right? Because if you drag this preview into, say, single loops, where they don't match, this is 01 LP Epic, they don't match. You do not want to do that. Just make sure you drag it to the proper ones. So I'm going to take this one, hold down Option key so that I don't have to re-download previews. It just makes a duplicate. Now the folder stays here and there. So that covers loop menus. Now we go down to single loops. Man, there's a lot in single loops. Single loops. Here's the first one. Epic, full. Looks like I already have it in there. Do I? I do. Fantastic. This one. Already have it in there. Do they match up? LP Epic. LP Epic. If for some reason you don't have them in there, just remember your preview files are here and you drag them in. Here's one thing that will happen. If there's already a folder in, you try and drag it, it won't let you. Oh, I take it back. It'll let you put that folder within the folder, but if you try and drag it in here, it won't let you. The item.previews can't be replaced. So if for some reason there's a folder in there, you're not hearing your sounds, delete this one. Get rid of it. Move it to the trash. And we'll do it like move to trash. All right? It's gone. Now we make sure that, what are we on? LP Elements 1. We go LP Elements 1. We make sure that 01 LP Epic matches up. Just drag that one in. Hold down Shift. Keep it. Now it should work. And I have one more library to show you. This is the most complicated you'll find, and sadly, even sometimes you might find 90 out of the 100 presets you'll hear. It just is what it is. And don't forget, after you put all the folders in there like we did, you're going to click on it, hit Rescan, it's going to circle. When it's finished circling, hit Close. Come over here. And now you'll notice that damage is there. When you click on it, sweet. So the last one we'll do, to me, is the easiest one. There's some libraries that are just easier to install than others. This is output. Let's see. We're going to put it in here. You don't have to worry about clicking this stuff before you start, but just to show you that it's not there, two outputs are. You're going to do the same routine where you hit the arrow. We go down to our Edit Preferences, Library, User. I already know the preview files, for whatever amazing reason, stay in output. So when I hit Add, I'm going to go to my external output. I think I have brass and strings. Let's throw signal in there just because it's easy. Choose. It's there. I'm going to hit scan. You're going to see it spin. Takes a sec. And my computer is fast, so if it takes a while, don't be frustrated. Hit close. Remember, the guy must be highlighted because that's where my externals are. I go to instruments. There's signal. And that's it. And don't forget, when you click off this person, you go back, signal, damage, all the other ones here are gone. They're within here. But the cool thing is, if you want a bass within these presets, it's just an extra step. You highlight the guy. But hopefully this helps. If there's things I did wrong or you can help me out, man, please let me know. But I hope this helps you guys out and saves you the heartache of emails and the support tickets and all that crud that normally goes through just to get your instruments sampling, because it is the best part of Komplete Kontrol when it is working. Anyways, best of luck to you guys. Thank you so much.